Okay, so this is reviewing a different set of notes over rotations since I was not here yesterday. So a rotation is a transformation where you rotate the preimage to the image. In other words, you're turning that shape. Okay, there are different types of rotations. Clockwise is going to be to the right, and counterclockwise is going to be what direction? All right. When rotating, you can also turn to different degree measures. A 90-degree rotation, you're going to turn 1/4 of a circle, or 1/4 turn. If you think of it as a graph and it's over here, then if you do 90-degree rotation, let's say clockwise, it's going to land in this quadrant here. I'll zoom in on that. Okay, and the 180-degree rotation is exactly halfway. It's a half turn, which makes everything exact opposite of where it was. So if you're turning on a graph, let's say clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter which direction for this particular rotation. So if this is 90 and then do another 90, and that's 180. So and then a 270-degree rotation is exactly 3/4 of a turn. Oops. So on a grid, if you move it 90, 180, 270, that moved exactly 3 quadrants over. If you notice, all of these are increments of 90. So 90-degree turn, and then you would do another 90, that's 180. And then if you do another 90 on top of that, that's 270. And if you do another 90, that's 360, which just means it would land exactly where it was. It'd be its starting point, which would be kind of like the same thing as 0 degrees. All right, so this box I think is the most helpful. It has the rules of rotation here. If you know these 3, then you can find these others using those rules, because a 90 degrees clockwise turn is the same thing as a 270-degree counterclockwise turn. You could choose to do a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation 3 times, and you would still get the same thing here. These are just shortcuts. And these are the rules that you would follow. So you would swap X and Y and change the X. For a 180-degree rotation, because it's exact opposite, you just changed its signs. And for counterclockwise, you swap them, but you change the Y. So we are going to do this next example. So this says 90 degrees clockwise. So that rotation rule is to take X and Y and swap them to change, and then change the X. Okay, so first we would need to record what the original points are, so the pre-image points. T is -7, 1. R is -8, 8. And Y is -3, 5. Okay, and so the rule says swap them and change the X. So this is the Y, change the X. Now it's 1, 7. Okay, so go ahead and change R prime and Y prime. Okay, So you swap them and change the x. This is 8, 8, and this is 5, 3. Okay. I'm going to use a transparency to kind of show you a 90-degree clockwise rotation. You can trace the x and y axis. I'm going to mark this first block here to represent 90 degrees. We know that a right angle is 90 degrees, and it's represented with that little box there. And if I go clockwise, that's to the right. And so I'm just going to keep all of this in line and just rotate it to the right. And so this is R, Y, and T. And so moving it clockwise, 90 degrees. It would land over here and look like that. So when you graph it, that's what it should look like. So we have 1, 7, 8, 8, 5, 3. T prime, R prime, Y prime. And you see that does match up with what we just rotated. And so this is 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, turn over onto the back. The TRY values are still the same as what you just did on the front. So -7, 1, -8, 8, and -3, 5. And the same thing is true for the one below it. So if you wanted to go ahead and write that information down, that's okay. Okay, so now we're doing a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. Okay, so check back over to the front and find that rule. So you're taking X and Y, and what are we doing with them? Swap them and change what? So swap them and change the Y value. Okay. So we swap and change the Y, so now it's -1, -7, -8, -8, -3, -5. Whoa, wait. -5, -3. I forgot to swap them. Okay. And so we are going 90 degrees counterclockwise. It's still the same shape. So I'm going to move this counterclockwise. It's this direction. And it's going to land in that orientation. Okay. And so let's graph that. -1, -7, -8, -8. -5, -3. So it's T prime, R prime, Y prime. Okay, and what is the rule for a 180-degree rotation? Do we swap them? No, we don't swap them. What do we do? Just change all of the signs to its opposite. That's what this minus sign in front of those means. So now what's this first ordered pair going to be? +7, -1, +8, -8, +3, -5. Okay, go ahead and graph that. When you graph it, it should land exact opposite of where it is because it's a 180-degree rotation. That's two 90-degree rotations. So 7, -1, 8, -8, and 3, -5. So T prime, R prime, Y prime. If you wanted to look at that using the transparency, that's a little different size. So moving it 2 places clockwise, that's 1. And then this is going to be 2 rotations of 90, which is 180. Okay, so rotating 270 degrees clockwise, that's going to be the same thing as 90 degrees counterclockwise. And what is that rule? Take X and Y and do what with them? Swap them. And what sign are we changing, the X or the Y? For 90 degrees counterclockwise, we change the Y value. So opposite Y, X. Okay, so now we need to write down the pre-image points. 2, -2, 7, -6, 5, -9. Go ahead and change those ordered pairs and graph your image. Okay, so you should have +2, +2, 6, 7, 9, 5. And whenever you graph those, they're going to land in this first quadrant. 2, 2, 6, 7, and 9, 5. Showing that on the transparency. It goes about the origin. So this would be 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. Counter. Clockwise.